This is Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Here now, Tony Brueski.
It's the kind of evil that doesn't show its face in the usual way. No mask, no gun, no blood on the hands, just a powdered donut, a smile, and a plan. And inside Leon County Jail, that's how it started. A woman who once played domestic coordinator on Wheel of Fortune, handing another inmate a single donut wrapped in toilet paper. Remember Wheel of Fortune? Remember? Donna Adelson, Mischief Maker, was the puzzle that she solved. And when asked by Pat Sajak, "What are you, Donna?" "I'm a domestic coordinator." Even then, really trying to make things sound bigger and better than they actually are. This is the pathology of Donna Adelson. And in that tiny gesture, it said, "I can give you what you need." That's how Donna Adelson introduced herself to the woman she would soon call her jailhouse daughter. Dina Burnernhard is her name, and Joel from over on Surviving the Survivor podcast recently had a really interesting interview with her, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, is that conversation and the revelations that were made in it. And I do highly suggest going and checking out that interview over on Joel's channel. It is good. Surviving the Survivor. It's a very interesting interview. Anyway, her name is Dina Burnernhard. Though if you ask Donna, she was sunshine. Because even in jail, even facing a murder conviction, Donna Adelson was still building worlds where she pulled the strings and everyone else played a part. Dina didn't know who Donna was at first and didn't care. She wasn't following trials or headlines. She was trying to detox, trying to survive another stint in a place that smelled like depression. Her words. The paint on the walls chipped, the air thick with loss, and into everything. Into that world walked this 70-something grandmother from South Florida, Donna. Wealthy, entitled, manicured, even behind bars, and she zeroed in on Dina. Got to keep these two straight. Donna and Dina are in this story. All right? And here's where you know, or here's where you see how manipulation works. I should put it that way. It never starts with the ask. It starts with the empathy, the counterfeit empathy, especially when it's being weaponized. Donna knew exactly what she was doing. You find the most vulnerable person in the room, the one who still wants to believe in good intentions, the addict who's been told she's worthless so many times. That one kind word feels like salvation. So Donna gives her a donut. She gives her a nickname. She gives her a story about her grandkids, about her pain, about her innocence. And little by little, she gives her purpose. "You're my jailhouse daughter," she tells her, "my sunshine." Let's be clear. According to Dina's testimony, Donna wasn't mothering anyone. She was recruiting, grooming. In her version of events, Donna offered money, commissary, even pills, and a grand piano if Dina would take the stand and lie for her. I mean, think about that for a second. The woman convicted of orchestrating her son-in-law's murder, trying to hire a witness from inside jail, writing out entire scripts by hand, allegedly, for Dina to memorize and recite. And when prosecutors asked Dina how many times Donna approached her with the plan, her answer was simple and plain: a lot. It's one of those moments that strips away every illusion about who Donna Adelson really was, because if you still believe the sweet grandma narrative, the frail woman sobbing in court claiming she just wanted to protect her family, Dina's story burns to the ground. According to Dina, Donna said it herself. She did it to keep her grandkids, but it wasn't supposed to go that far. Oh! The line tells you everything about her psychology, the narcissist confession, the moral loophole she could live with. She wasn't a murderer, not in her mind. She was a protector, a victim of circumstance. Someone else took it too far. It's the oldest trick in the narcissist playbook, to recast cruelty as necessity. But inside Leon County, that illusion didn't hold up for long. Dina says she began to notice the cracks, the moments when Donna dropped the mask, the woman who cooed about family, who adored Wendy and called Charlie her angel, and the same woman who ranted about wanting to kill her own son, Robert. You know, like moms do. The one who dared to tell the truth. Her exact words, according to Dina, she wanted to shove a shoe down his throat and kill him. Now, probably more figurative than actual, taking a shoe and shoving it down someone's throat, but still, that's really kind of a shitty thing to say about your own son because he decided that he didn't want to be part of your little enmeshed narcissistic hellscape anymore. That was the moment Dina says she realized what she was dealing with. Not a frail old lady, not a victim, but evil. And the way she tells it, Donna's entire jail persona was a performance. She could cry on cue, flip her voice, change her energy, play the timid grandma for guards, and the calculating mob matriarch for inmates. Dina described it like watching The Exorcist in real life. The transformation that sudden. Psychologically, it's textbook malignant narcissism. The need to control every narrative, every person, every perception. Even in jail, stripped of status and money, Donna was still conducting the orchestra, still convincing people that if they just played along, she could make their lives better. She even had rules for her phone calls. According to Dina, when she and Donna would call Harvey Adelson, Donna's husband, they weren't allowed to use Dina's real name. Sunshine only. Because the jail phones were recorded, every word calculated, every layer of manipulation designed to hide intent. Harvey, Dina said, came across like a mob boss, quiet, intimidating. The kind of man who didn't need to raise his voice to scare you. And when Dina got out of jail, she says Donna told her to stay in touch with him, to use encrypted apps, to keep the lines open, because that's what Donna did. She created networks even behind bars. This is the allegations that were made. And let's talk about that, the psychology of control. If these stories are true, people like Donna don't just want to win, they want to dominate the environment. Every space they enter becomes an ecosystem of power, and with them at the center. In jail, her currency was in cash. It was attention, food, commissary, promises of connection to the outside world, the grand piano. Another option there for you, too. To someone detoxing, someone fragile, those things mean survival, and Donna weaponized them. Let's pause on Dina for a second. 27 arrests, a drug addiction she describes as numbing trauma she still doesn't know how to process. A nurse who lost her license, a mother whose sons no longer speak to her. She's painfully self-aware about her past. When you hear her speak, she's articulate, she's self-reflective, even hopeful. That's what makes her story powerful. Because she had every reason to take the deal Donna offered. Pills, money, validation, maybe even a way to feel needed again. But she didn't. She said no. She turned Donna in. She told investigators what was actually happening. Even when she was terrified. She testified in open court knowing the world would call her a junkie and a liar. She did it anyway. And what she saw from Donna behind those walls lines up with everything we've seen from her outside of them. The arrogance, the entitlement, the belief that she could outsmart the system. Dina says Donna bragged about her life, the houses, the travel, the money, her son's Ferraris, her time on Wheel of Fortune. She carried herself like royalty trapped in a dungeon, expecting special treatment from guards, irritated when she didn't get it. She'd whine about her thin mattress, her ear canals, her dignity, but never about Dan Markel. Never about the man shot in the head twice in his own driveway. According to Dina, Donna never once expressed remorse, not grief, not even shock, just anger that it didn't go the way she planned. And right there, that's what separates guilt from pathology. Remorse is the internalization of harm. Pathology is the inversion of it when getting caught becomes the real tragedy. Dina says the only time she saw Donna upset was when her control slipped, when her son Robert agreed to testify against her, when the state refused to play along, when her stories stopped working. And here's the kicker. Dina claims Donna told her she was offered a 10-year plea deal, 10 years in exchange for immunity for her family. And she turned it down. Donna told Dina, I'm going to beat trial. Wow. I mean, if that's true. Damn, Donna. I think you made the wrong choice. It's not courage, that's delusion born of privilege. The same arrogance that convinced her she could plan a murder for hire, erase the evidence, and live her golden years on the beach with her grandkids. And when you trace that pattern through the whole family, you start to see how the rot spread. Because if Dina's account is accurate, Donna ruled that family like a small kingdom. Every quiet complaint, Wendy adored, protected. Charlie the angel, even now, serving life in prison for pulling the trigger or getting the people to pull the trigger. Robert, the outcast, the one who broke rank and told the truth. Dina says the kids probably grew up afraid of her, and she's probably right. Inside jail, Donna would talk about them constantly, praising Wendy, cursing Robert, calling Charlie innocent. She'd talk about money and control like they were virtues. She even compared her life to her jail daughters, as if the same rules applied. But that's, again, what narcissists do. They rewrite the moral universe so they don't. So they're always the hero, basically. In Donna's story, she wasn't a conspirator in a murder. She was a misunderstood matriarch defending her brood. But when you listen closely to Dina's retelling, what you really hear is rot. A woman so consumed by image and control that she'd try to weaponize the pain of another human being, an addict, to manufacture sympathy for herself. That's a real special type of manipulation there. It's a real type of moral decay. It would imply you had morals to begin with, though, and I don't know that that's ever existed. Dina says Donna would brainstorm lies like other people plan lunch. The shower assault that never happened, the hearing problems, the mattress too thin, each story crafted not for truth but for leverage. She even discussed how to trick psychiatrists into believing she had memory loss. Again, not desperation, calculation. And when she finally stood in court and cried those empty tears, saying, Dad Markell didn't deserve this, Dina says she recognized the act instantly. She'd seen it before. And that fluorescent cell between the donut and the script. Fake tears for real crimes. And when the most haunting part came about, Dina says even in prison, Donna will keep playing the game. That she'll suffer, yes, but mostly because she can't control anyone anymore. And here's where it gets complicated, because Dina, despite everything, still feels sorry for her. She says it's one of her flaws, that she gives too much grace, that part of her can't stop empathizing, even with evil. And that's what makes this story hard to shake, because it forces you to hold two truths at once. The horror of Donna Adelson's manipulation and the humanity of the woman she tried to use. Dina says she wants to use this experience to help others now, to speak for addicts, to prove that people can change, that not everyone behind bars is bad. She wants to reconnect with her sons, to work, to stay sober, to do something good after being dragged into one of the darkest cases in Florida's history. And that's a contrast that sticks with you. Donna Adelson, wealth, privilege, power, used every ounce of it to destroy lives. Dina, broke, addicted, forgotten, used what little strength she had left to tell the truth. It's a grim reminder that character isn't built by circumstance. It's revealed by what you do when you have nothing left to lose. And Donna, well, she lost everything. But never her arrogance. She'll spend the rest of her life in a Florida prison, stripped of luxury, surrounded by women who won't be fooled by powdered donuts and pet names. Dina says it's going to be hard for her there, and maybe that's the closest thing to justice she'll ever know. But the real power of this story isn't just what it says about Donna. It's what it says about manipulation itself, how easily evil disguises itself as kindness, how charm and guilt and pity can all be weapons in the wrong hands. Donna Adelson didn't just orchestrate a murder for hire, she orchestrated narratives in her family, in her courtroom, and even in her jail cell. She tried to make everyone else the instrument of her denial, and in the end, it was a woman society had written off. A 27-time offender detoxing in a concrete room who saw through her act and told the truth. That's the thing about evil. It always believes it's smarter than everyone else. Can't imagine that the person it looks down on might be the one to bring it down. So when you think about Donna Adelson sitting in her cell tonight, stripped of control, stripped of family, stripped of everything but her reflection, remember the powdered donut. The moment she thought she could buy loyalty with sugar and flattery. That's where the facade cracked. That's where sunshine saw the storm behind the smile. And that's where Donna Adelson's empire, the lies, the manipulation, the illusion of control, finally started to crumble. Because in the end, the woman who tried to build her legacy on power died inside the one place she couldn't own, a Florida prison. And for once, no one's playing along. Give me your thoughts on Donna. It went too far. Oh, goodness. It sure did. It sure did. When you play with fire, Donna, I don't know any narrative of this story where this isn't the end. When you start involving someone called a hitman, there's not like Hitman Lights. There's no version of the story where it's like, we'll just go up and scare him. Of course it's going to end that way, you dumb. Yeah. Your thoughts in the comments. If you're not on YouTube, please check out our YouTube channel. Just search Hidden Killers with Tony Brueski. Hit subscribe while you're there. If you're already there watching us, hi. In the comments section, let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. And if you're listening on the podcast platform, thank you. Hit subscribe, whatever platform it is you like to listen to us on, so you don't miss any of our coverage of this and the many cases we follow for you right here at the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today. I'm Tony Brueski. We'll talk again real.
Want more on this case and others? Then press subscribe now and don't miss a moment of true crime coverage from Tony Brueski and the Hidden Killers podcast.